What you will have for a birthday IW, like on the television, drum like on television, the big one. When Barron Trump, the youngest son of former President Donald Trump, made an unexpected appearance at a packed rally in Doral, Florida, the entire venue was swept up in an electric atmosphere. The rally, filled with high-energy speeches, was momentarily paused as the attention of every attendee turned toward Barron. His rare presence was enough to captivate attention. The sight of the 18-year-old towering above those around him, effortlessly commanding attention with nothing more than a composed demeanor and a calm wave, left the crowd in awe. As Donald Trump, his father, spoke of Barron's accomplishments, high school graduation, and acceptance into prestigious colleges, a standing ovation echoed throughout the hall. It wasn't just the applause that was significant, though. It was the powerful, unspoken message that Barron's presence conveyed. The moment of Barron's appearance, a powerful first glimpse. The rally itself was typical of any political event, loud, bustling with supporters, and brimming with anticipation. Donald Trump's voice resonated through the arena as he addressed his loyal base with the energy and fervor he's known for. But then a shift occurred. The crowd's focus turned from the stage to the back of the room as Barron Trump made his way onto the stage. Standing tall next to his father at 6 feet 7 inches, Barron's physical presence was impossible to ignore. His height, towering above not only his father but everyone in the room, became a defining feature in that moment. The usual political pageantry and boisterous applause took a backseat to something more personal and poignant. Barron, without speaking a word, had already stolen the show. His entrance was not accompanied by speeches or promises of change, nor was there the kind of political rallying typical of his father's events. Instead, Barron's quiet yet confident presence spoke volumes. He simply stood there, acknowledging the crowd with a reserved wave. It was a rare moment that offered a glimpse into the young man behind the public curiosity. The crowd's reaction was immediate. Cheers erupted, quickly building to a standing ovation. For a moment, the rally transformed from a political event into something more akin to a celebration. It wasn't just about supporting Donald Trump, it was about recognizing Barron as something new, a young man stepping into the light after years of being largely out of the public eye. Barron Trump, a study in privacy and poise. Barron Trump has always been the most private member of the Trump family. Unlike his older siblings, Ivanka, Eric, Don Jr., and Tiffany, who have long been active participants in their father's business and political ventures, Barron's life has been largely kept away from the spotlight. This decision was not accidental. It was a carefully orchestrated choice by his parents, particularly his mother, Melania Trump. Throughout the years, Melania has been fiercely protective of her son's privacy, ensuring that his childhood remained as normal as possible despite the extraordinary circumstances of growing up in the White House during Donald Trump's presidency. Barron's appearances were rare. He was almost never seen at public events, except for a few brief moments during major occasions such as state visits or the annual Thanksgiving turkey pardons. Even then, he was often in the background, a silent figure that observers would catch only a glimpse of. Melania was adamant about shielding her son from the media frenzy that surrounded her husband's political career. While the rest of the family was thrust into the public eye, Barron's life was kept out of the constant glare of cameras. The contrast between Barron's private nature and the more flamboyant personalities of his father and siblings only deepened the public's curiosity. What was it about Barron that set him apart from the rest? Why did he choose to stay so quiet, especially in such a high-profile family? For many, Barron's reticence added an air of mystery around him, making each rare public appearance that much more significant. He became something of an enigma, a young man whose growing presence in the public eye sparked more questions than answers. His appearance at the Doral rally, however, seemed to be a shift in the narrative. This wasn't just another sighting. This was a moment of intentional, albeit quiet, revelation. In a sense, it was Barron's debut on the campaign trail, one that offered a glimpse into his potential future role within the Trump legacy. Donald Trump's introduction. A proud father at the rally, Barron's appearance was orchestrated by his father, who took a moment to proudly introduce his youngest son to the crowd. As he spoke about Barron's recent milestones, such as his high school graduation and acceptance into several prestigious colleges, the crowd responded with an enthusiastic round of applause. It was a clear moment of parental pride, one that highlighted the progress Barron had made despite growing up in such an unusual environment. Barron's calm demeanor only added to the sense of dignity surrounding him. While Donald Trump's political rallies are often filled with raucous energy, Barron's presence seemed to bring a quiet kind of strength to the room. By introducing Barron as a young man who had accomplished so much, Donald Trump was acknowledging not only his son's achievements but also the potential that lay ahead. This wasn't just a political event, it was a rare moment of familial pride, with Barron's growth into adulthood serving as a powerful symbol of continuity for the Trump family. In that brief moment, Barron was no longer just a background figure. He was part of the narrative, an essential thread in the larger tapestry of the Trump story. The significance of the standing ovation. The standing ovation that Barron received at the rally was far more than just a polite gesture. It was a testament to the respect and admiration that Barron had quietly earned over the years. Although he had remained mostly out of the public spotlight, his reputation was growing in subtle ways. The ovation was a recognition of his maturity, composure, and the promise that many saw in him. The crowd's applause wasn't just for a young man who had achieved academic success, it was also for someone who carried the weight of his family's legacy in a way that felt natural and unforced. In the days that followed, social media was abuzz with comments and reflections on Barron's appearance. Clips of his wave, his stature, and his calm presence quickly went viral. People marveled at how much he had grown, not just physically but also in terms of his poise and maturity. There were those who speculated that this was a turning point for Barron, that he might one day step into a more prominent role in the family's public life. But perhaps more importantly, the ovation highlighted the deep curiosity and respect the public had for him. Despite his mostly private existence, Barron, it seemed, had become a figure of interest without even trying to be one. His ability to command such attention with silence spoke volumes about the impact he had on those around him. Barron's quiet strength, a reflection of both parents. What made Barron's rally appearance so powerful was not just his height or his physical presence but the way he carried himself. His reserved nature stood in stark contrast to the boisterous energy of his father. Donald Trump's political rallies are known for their larger-than-life atmosphere, with supporters cheering and chanting in the background. Barron, however, introduced a sense of calm into the space. His poise was evident, a trait that many have remarked upon in the past. While Donald Trump is known for his boldness and his sometimes controversial remarks, Barron seemed to embody a different kind of strength, one that was quieter, more introspective, and perhaps even more relatable for some. This sense of quiet strength, however, did not go unnoticed. The standing ovation for Barron was not only a recognition of his physical growth but also of the character he had developed over the years. While Donald Trump has been a divisive figure in American politics, Barron's presence represented something different, a new generation coming into its own, one that was not defined solely by the shadow of politics but by a more nuanced approach to life. What lies ahead for Barron Trump? It is too early to predict where Barron's journey will take him, but his appearance at the rally certainly opened up new avenues of discussion. What role, if any, will Barron play in the Trump family's future endeavors? Could he one day step into a more public-facing role, perhaps in politics or business? Or will he choose a different path, one that remains more private, away from the media frenzy that has followed his family for years? What is clear, however, is that Barron Trump has now taken his first steps into the public spotlight. The standing ovation he received in Doral was a symbolic moment, one that marked his transition from a quiet observer of the Trump legacy to a potential future leader in that legacy. His ability to remain poised and composed in such a high-pressure moment suggests that he may be more than ready for whatever role he chooses to take on in the future. While his father and older siblings have long been the focus of attention, Barron's moment of recognition at the rally indicated that he too is carving out his place within the larger narrative. The world is watching, and Barron Trump's silent yet powerful appearance has only intensified the intrigue surrounding his future. Or the standing ovation. It was in the way Barron Trump silently commanded the room just by being himself. The moment of Barron's appearance at the rally in Doral was a typical spectacle filled with high energy, characteristic of any Donald Trump campaign event. However, the atmosphere shifted noticeably when Donald Trump introduced his youngest son to the crowd. Standing just off to the side, Barron made his way to the stage. At 6 feet 7 inches tall, Barron loomed over many of those present. Dressed sharply in a tailored suit, with his calm and composed demeanor, he commanded immediate attention even without saying a word. As he took the stage, the crowd erupted into cheers and applause. The energy in the room reached a fever pitch as people stood to offer Barron a standing ovation. This was not simply a moment of polite applause, but a heartfelt tribute to the young man who, for so long, had remained a figure of public curiosity. Barron's silent acknowledgement of the crowd, a modest wave, only fueled the growing sense of admiration and respect for him. He remained composed, unfazed by the sea of eyes upon him, offering a quiet confidence that contrasted starkly with the boisterous nature of the Trump family's public persona. Donald Trump took a moment to share Barron's accomplishments with the crowd, proudly highlighting his recent high school graduation and acceptance into prestigious colleges. This news elicited another wave of applause, signaling the public's growing recognition of Barron not just as the son of a former president, but as an individual with his own achievements and potential. For many in attendance, this was their first significant exposure to Barron beyond the rare, fleeting images of him from his childhood. While Barron's siblings, Donald Jr., Ivanka, and Eric, have taken prominent roles in both the business and political realms, Barron has largely remained in the background. His public appearances have been infrequent, and when he has appeared, he was often a silent observer, much like his mother, Melania Trump, who has been protective of his privacy. However, Barron's appearance at this rally marked a turning point. For the first time, he was not merely a child in the background, but a young man with the potential to play a more public role in the Trump legacy. The standing ovation, a symbol of something greater. The standing ovation Barron received was not simply a reaction to his appearance, but an acknowledgement of something more profound. It was a reflection of the deep curiosity that surrounds Barron and the widespread interest in what his future might hold. The crowd's admiration was palpable, but it wasn't just about his physical presence, it was about the quiet strength and dignity that Barron exuded even in such an intense, high-pressure environment. As the ovation continued, social media exploded with commentary. Some users marveled at Barron's towering height, noting how he had grown since his time in the White House. Others were struck by his composed, almost regal bearing, a calm that seemed to defy the raucous energy of the Trump rallies. Barron's appearance was quickly dissected online, with many pointing out how much he had matured, especially since his younger years spent largely out of the spotlight. What made the moment even more remarkable was the fact that Barron had not made any statement or given any indication of what he planned to do with the attention now focused on him. The standing ovation became a symbol of potential, a young man stepping into adulthood, poised to carve out his own identity while still tied to the Trump family legacy. A glimpse of Barron's reserved nature. Barron's decision to maintain a quiet, introspective demeanor despite the public attention is one of the qualities that sets him apart from his family. Unlike his father, who is known for his fiery rhetoric and larger-than-life personality, Barron has always preferred a quieter existence. For years, he was shielded from the media, a choice spearheaded by his mother, Melania, who worked diligently to ensure Barron had as normal a childhood as possible despite the extraordinary circumstances of growing up in the White House. While other first children, such as Sasha and Malia Obama, had more visible roles during their parents' time in office, Barron's life was carefully shielded. He was not thrust into the spotlight in the same way, which only fueled curiosity about him. The media often speculated about Barron's interests, personality, and future, but the boy rarely offered any clues. He was known to be reserved and thoughtful, spending much of his time out of the public eye. His tall frame and distinctive features, however, only added to his mystique. Photographs of Barron towering beside his father or mother often went viral, fueling discussions about what he might one day become. Those close to the Trump family have described Barron as highly intelligent, with a sharp mind and keen curiosity about the world. Unlike his siblings, who have embraced their father's political and business ventures, Barron has kept his interests largely to himself. However, the fact that he has never fully embraced the spotlight does not mean he is disconnected from his family's affairs. On the contrary, those within the Trump inner circle often speak highly of Barron's thoughtful nature and his ability to listen and observe. It is clear that while Barron may not actively seek out attention, he is not unaware of the world around him. The Trump legacy: what does Barron's future hold? The rally moment raised important questions about Barron's future role in the Trump legacy. Could he one day follow in his father's footsteps, stepping into the public arena with a role in politics or business? Or will Barron carve out his own path, potentially in an entirely different field, such as technology or international affairs, areas in which he has shown interest? During the rally was a clear amen of Barron's achievements, and the applause that followed suggested that the public sees Barron as someone with great potential. While Barron has yet to publicly express any aspirations for a career in politics or business, the rally appearance certainly raised the possibility that Barron might one day become a more prominent figure in his family's narrative. What is clear is that Barron's potential is seen by many as vast, but the path he chooses remains uncertain. In a family known for its political and business clout, Barron could carve out a very different path for himself if he so chooses. His ability to maintain his privacy while navigating the intense scrutiny of public life has been a key aspect of his story thus far. Navigating the future of public life is a deliberate journey. Despite the constant attention, Barron has remained remarkably grounded. His ability to avoid being swept up in the chaos that surrounds his family speaks to his emotional maturity and discipline. Melania Trump, in particular, has been instrumental in fostering this sense of privacy and control over Barron's life. She worked tirelessly to shield him from the media, ensuring that he had a normal childhood despite the extraordinary circumstances that came with being the child of a sitting president. But Barron's appearance at the rally in Dural represented something more. It was a moment that suggested Barron might be ready to take a more active role in his family's public life. The calm strength he exhibited on stage was indicative of a young man who is becoming increasingly aware of the legacy he is a part of, even if he chooses to shape that legacy in his own way. In the days following Barron's appearance at the rally, the buzz surrounding his future continued to grow. Speculations swirled about his possible career choices, with some pundits suggesting that Barron might one day run for office or become more involved in his father's business empire. Others speculated that Barron might choose a different path entirely, perhaps pursuing a career in technology, science, or another field. Whatever path Barron chooses, his journey is only just beginning. His appearance at the rally was a pivotal moment, signaling that the world will likely see much more of him in the years to come. Whether he decides to follow in his father's political footsteps or pursue his own path, Barron Trump has already made an impact, one marked by quiet confidence, maturity, and a level-headedness that is rare in the public eye. The standing ovation he received was not just for his appearance but for the person he is becoming. As Barron steps into adulthood, the world watches with curiosity, eager to see where his unique journey will take him. The speculation about his future is only growing, but one thing is clear: Barron Trump's story is far from over.